Hey Travis, welcome. Looks like you're the first. Don't eat the gecko, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Yeah. I had to stop one of the cats just munching on a gecko that was on the outside of the window. More because I don't want them consuming more parasites than they have to. It's already expensive enough to keep them well fed, let alone periodically purging them of all the crazy parasites that they pick up. Yes, the beard is getting a little out of control, but I am under strict instructions. Alright, so this job we've had before. It came in and we fixed it. Apparently it's gone back. I've been with the customer for a few days or a week or so, and then boom, just died. So wondering if I've missed something or whether it's something new. I just don't know. So this is going to be, well, it's going to be exploratory. Hey Mark, Andrew, Christian, Barry, Andre, Miles, Nick. Alright, some of you might recognise this one due to the stickers. And it's completely dead, which I suppose I'm somewhat grateful for, because it doesn't even give me MagSafe, so that mostly rules out chance of it being a PCH or CPU failure. But yeah, like I said, I'm kind of curious. What did I miss? And yeah, there we go. It's 15 milliamps. Nothing. Very strange. So we will disassemble it and have a look. Hey, Micromage Repair. I saw your YouTube channel today. I quite like what you're doing with the stylizing with the wizard and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Wish I would find time to do cool things like that. Never do. Instead I just get on here and put out another boring video, but it gets the work done, I suppose. Hey Crazy J. Wrong one, Paul. Yes, perform exploratory surgery. Yeah, I always look at channels like that. Yeah, people who've put time and effort into doing their artwork and things like that. Another one would be some. No, I'm going to get killed if I can't remember his name. Art of Repair. And he always puts such effort into his videos. Yeah, I always feel bad that I just sort of slap my stuff together. I don't even care. And well, to be fair, that does tend to show in the subscription rates. Like, you know, I'm sitting at barely 30,000 after well over 4 years. Okay, well, the first thing I found is that I forgot to screw that in. That's hilarious. But I'd be very surprised if it was the fault of that not being fully screwed in, but it was definitely a bad mistake to make. I knew the other day that I was sitting there thinking, did I screw in something? Justin, thank you, yes. Yeah, now I'm going to get killed. No, it wasn't that. But it was interesting to note that I had not covered that. Might just disconnect everything, keyboard, mouse, all that sort of stuff, and see if it comes back to life. Yeah, doctors usually leave things in there, like, oops, we left an extra bandage in you, or a pair of forceps, or, yeah, some sort of clamp around your artery. Yeah, Kristen, I've been waiting for SN11 to launch, but it hasn't been launching, so I'm trying to actually get the universe to work in my favour. I figured one of the best ways to do that is to start my own stream, and then most likely the universe will go, you can't do that. and then put on SN11 launch. I didn't leave the Reaper in there, not this time. Jacob Anderson? Yeah. I mean, occasionally I'll get a bounce like this where it is just something completely different. I gotta admit, I'm actually trying to remember what I did fix on this. I'll have to have a look at the job number. Yeah, Jacob, we're in lockdown over here. Well, not bad lockdown, we're just masked and all that sort of stuff, so it's not too bad. But there's people complaining, of course. Let's see, the whole SMC area was corroded. We had a reluctant SD card, so we could still, maybe there was a bit of corrosion around the SD, not the SD, the SMC that we didn't see. Maybe the SMC completely trashed itself. Mind you, if it does that, we typically would at least get a higher current reading. But I gotta admit, I didn't bother to check that. Hey Walter, welcome. Yeah, Andre, there's going to be a lot of people. Well, I see there was a lot of people trying to escape already prior to Easter. It's like, I think as a society, we're kind of going to have to get used to the idea of the normal holidays and things like that no longer being such a thing. And in some ways that's exciting. In other ways it's not. So like, if you're a traditionalist, then of course such things are going to be very disruptive. But if you're, I don't know, like me and not a traditionalist, then you probably go, well, this is interesting. Nothing jumping out at me yet. Well, I mean, you can go visit people and all that, but I mean, it's just the old ways where everyone would go out on that 4-day Easter break and go crazy. It was always a bit of a nightmare. I never personally cared for it much. I mean, you can't blame it on my youth because I'm not young. I'm almost 50. It's just I never really cared for it much. I would much rather see us have a more widely distributed sort of holiday system. Personally, if it was up to me, I'd love to have 13 weeks in a year. Every month, first day of the month or the last day of the month or whatever gets the you get a long weekend. So you get 13 long weekends. And in terms of personal leave, you can sort of choose to spread that around a little more. But I don't know, such things can't be done. It's certainly 13 months in the year would be nice. Okay, 15 milliamp, this is fun, so it's time to bring out the multimeter and start measuring stuff. Hey Jimbo, welcome. Well, this is a different DCM board, Walter. You're a little bit slack there, buddy. Not watching. Were you going to say that you came in late? It sounds like a excuse. Hey, okay, SMC is definitely not running. Okay, we're all good on the 342, so the SMC, something's gone wrong around there again. Yeah, Jimbo, I'm trying to actually induce the launch. So if the launch occurs, you can thank me. Because I've been waiting for it, and it's not been happening, so... So what have we got, a bad SMC, or... I mean, I can see the balls spitting out on there, but can't really blame that. Bit of junk there, but that's not a problem. I suppose I should check things to see like if SMC ACBC OK is okay back from the ISL. I'm just taking a quick glance around to see if there is something blatantly obvious that I missed. PR? Oh, right, they're at engine chill. Well, it can still stop at the last second, can't it? Frustratingly. Oh, this is the one, that's right, where we did the large scale bridge to that capacitor. I'm a little disappointed at my resistor network there. I give myself a C- on that. Hey Warren, welcome. Yeah, I'm waiting for the launch as well, but it's not happening and I've got money to make, or at least try to make. This one will not be making any money. I simply have to actually get it back to working. I mean, we've been waiting for the SN11 for quite some time now. Damn it, now I've got to re-ultrasonic this board. I'm just going to reflow this section a little bit. Maybe there's a bad connection somewhere. Okay, why is that resistor so reluctant to... we got fog, have we, for the launch now? It is surprising how quickly the weather can turn in those places. I realise there's solder jumping out of that, but I really don't think that's at fault. Hey Greg, welcome. Mark, we've okay, we had something just then. Yeah, okay, it looks like that area is part of the problem perhaps. Okay, established that. Are we gonna get green or are we not? This better not be a dead CPU PCH now. Okay, we do have green, so that's good. Now the question is, why was that a problem there? What wasn't stuck down properly? What have I missed? I am thinking maybe what's happening is that the via for this line here goes down via this test point, and maybe this resistor wasn't sitting down properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a second wire across the pair of them. What did you buy, Walter? What? Hey, we fix TVs. We've got a 1466 that's bounced back here because I seem to have not done my job properly the first time. Realistically, what probably happened is I was doing a perfectly fine job, but then random think they're helpful people like Walter White probably distracted me and I did something wrong. But it'll be only because of their distraction, not because of my incompetence. Hey, Belgium. Mark, we have found that the dark fruitcake is now our favourite. So we're investing in quite a few blocks of that now. Even a leader likes it. Oh, voltage injector. Oh, right. And the probes were already shorted for you. That's funny. Oh, you mongrel. It's Walter's fault. You should stick to chemistry. Yeah, Miles, you actually make a persuasive argument there. I think I'll agree to that. When the customers complain, I'll say, look, let us go back to the purity of the original stream and see who we can blame. Yeah, that's a pretty damn awful looking connection there. Now the trouble is I can't actually really make that much nicer. I'll put some hot air on it, see how it naturally reflows. It'll probably reflow into complete train wreck. No, Mark, we're actually doing pretty good here, Mark. What we're waiting on here is once the move happens and we have our room cleared up, so I've got extra rooms, one of the first things we're going to be doing is building a very nice sized pantry. And when we have that nice sized pantry, we will be able to use the money that we have to stock up on a lot of things. And we're also have to build the what do you call it, the brain fade. We also have to build the nope, still brain fade, foster care cat shed. That's going to be, I'm thinking it's going to end up probably around about 20,000 by the time we're finished, but it's going to be good. So how's SN11 going? Alright, that actually reflowed quite nicely. I'm pretty happy with that, considering the dynamics involved. Like, you've got a couple of different resistors here, you're off trace there, and you've got a... yeah, anyway, I'm happy with how that turned out, all things considered, so it's not really something to disturb. Yeah, I agree. It's pretty damn tidy, all things considered. Still at engine chill? Alright. Alright, so we... current looks good. Chuffles and Cocoa. That's not how you talk to cats. That's how you engage them in feline, canine warfare. Hey Lars Johannesson. Sorry, not Johannesson. Johansson. Alright, so instead of me putting this back into the machine straight away, I'm going to let this sit out overnight. I'm going to give it a chance to cool down, you know, get back to how it was, and see if it still behaves in the morning. So the lack of green blinking bothers me. Oh, okay, there you are. Now blink back at me. Thank you. SpaceX has gone live. Ooh, okay, hang on there. Yeah, Mark, I agree. It was a good idea. It was quite a shock. My wife is always, Alita's always quite taken aback by just how friendly and helpful people are on this group of people, you know, here, right here, talking. Yeah, because it was like, who are these people? You know, we never met them. Yeah, that fog is pretty thick. I'm watching it too now. So we've got 3 minutes, have we? Hey, Tony W. Alright, so, yeah, we'll wait for this. to restore back to normal temperatures. Like right now there's too much heat in the board, and then we're probably going to have to test it for 2 or 3 days before I'm happy to let it go again. I really do hate bounces, particularly when you're not 100% certain. I'm going to guess it was that connection, because it was very strange that that one particular resistor wouldn't move even though it was ready to reflow. And so we put the wire there as an extra precaution, so fingers crossed. If it misbehaves again, then what I'm going to think is maybe that test point and wire network needs to be directly wired in. Now, let's try to bring up. See if I can find the. Trying to remember what the culprits were. These two, isn't it? So that's going to be a pain. Because it seems like there's just that. We've got the test pad, and then 77. So if it is going down that test pad, and we've got a broken veer head on it, then that's not going to be an easy fix. But I guess it's a challenge. There's Steve K and Carlos and user. Jason, yeah, I did deal with them. That was the they submitted a job request. I was on the road. I'm just trying to think now. Make sure we're talking about the same person. You're talking about Patrick? Yeah, you are. You're talking about Patrick. Yep. Yeah, I've got him sorted out. Yeah, he's a little bit panicked about the time situation, but I'll do it as quick as I can. Okay. Alright. Put this aside. We'll consider that potentially fixed for now, and we'll go find ourselves another dreaded job. What have we got here? Let's see. Doesn't power up after shutdown. Had a new screen fitted earlier in the year. Might be a coincidence. Ooh. I'm actually a little worried about working on this one, because it is actually downright immaculate. Oh, we're alive. We're alive. Damn it. Is that left? Oh yeah, here we go. I'm probably going to lose my monetization on this, but yeah, well. Oh wow, that's cool. Inside of the tank shot. They're probably making sure they see if the pressurization works. Now see, they've still got the legs on this one. And they're running it very rich. Very rich. Be curious to see if the legs actually latch this time. It was funny the last time that they just sort of dangled around. And what's with this burning off to the side there? Or is it steam? Make it artsy. Not very good. I am not Scott. Damn it, what's his last name? The fly safe dude. Is it Scott Manley? That's it, yeah, it is Manley, yeah. It's kind of crazy when it goes through this phase because you just don't. I just realised now everybody can see what the hell I've been watching before. That's bad. Okay, so we've got one down. I wish they would have a height and velocity um, readout on this, because I mean obviously they're climbing at a very slow rate. Does that look like that panel rivet is about to become undone? Kind of look like one of those panels was ready to flip out. Yeah, over here this seam looks a little unseemly. But it'd be nice if they had a velocity and altitude indicator on this, because it does feel like when they're going through this particular phase, it's like it feels like it's going nowhere. Uh-oh, transmission failures. We didn't get to see them rotate the second one off. No, well. Oops. Interesting that they're having radio transmission issues. No, there's only the time thing. Great, they've lost That's great. They've lost time. The picture. Not good. Wow, this is really bad. Who killed it? Did it die, or is it... I can't hear the audio, so you'll have to let me know if they've died, but... Wow, they're just having uplink issues. Wait, no. What's going on there? Oh, they're in the belly flop mode. I was going to say, for a moment then I thought they were tumbling, but I see they're in the belly flop mode. Yeah, it's just strange that the downlink would have issues, given that it's pretty much direct line of sight, short range, relatively speaking. They probably had a problem at the base station. Either that, or they've lost a few cameras because they seem to be stuck on this view. That is a pretty cool view. We're not going to see much of the direct up look. It's going to be bad if they get this one right and it ends up... Yeah, they've got issues on their ground station. It's going to be bad if they nail this and they've got no footage. This is nail biting. Probably Windows update halfway through. How are you guys getting that it blew up, or are you just speculating? I'd say they're using AOL. Mega blow. How's everyone else seeing this and we're not? Looks like there were some serious telemetry issues on the way up and down. Yeah, the lack of update is... Are we still running on the clock here? Okay, I guess they've just cut the feed entirely, have they? Nope, everybody's... It's like me looking at a dude, looking at the screen. Rapid items, yep. Oh well. Get rid of that pool. I guess the question is going to be is, was the loss of cameras and stuff like that due to the, what do you call it? Was it due to the same thing that caused the explosion or what? Yeah, anyway. Well, you got to give them credit for keep trying, but I got to admit their investors by now probably actually starting to get a little bit niggly. They would have hoped to have landed with a bit more grace this time. Yeah. All right. Next job. So what I was saying about this one is that I'm a little scared to work on this one because it is actually an immaculate condition machine. It is genuinely, truly, yeah, there are no blemishes on this or anything. At times like this, I want to be able to get a vinyl wrap and you know, protect it, because I feel like I'm really risking things. You know, I don't want to have to hand it back to the person and say, "Oh yeah, look, you know, sorry mate, there's a bit of damage here, and yeah, there's that spot there where I had a war with the flying ant, and you nearly took your computer away, but we saved it. But you know, it kind of cost you a few scratches, buddy." Okay, so this is fresh bubble wrap, so there shouldn't be any particles on it. I think it's self-destructed, so it's off. Okay. Alright. I mean, I got to give them credit. It's like an incredibly complex setup. It's something entirely novel. Well, I wouldn't say entirely novel, but quite novel. And it is going to take a number of attempts, but if they don't really get it by the next one, they're probably going to start facing some sort of backlash. I mean, there's the usual backlash now, but I'm talking about backlash within what would otherwise be the normal support group. Unfortunately, it's just the way it goes. You know, it is rocket science after all. I am not going to dare dirty this one up, Steve. Use the non-slip cheap stuff from Officer. Wow, what do you mean by non-slip cheap stuff? Are you talking about the vinyl? Actually, for most machines, I do want to be able to do that. Just some sort of clear wrap or opaque, you know, grey wrap or something like that I can just throw over. It will moderately stick to it and prevent any sort of scratch-ups. Now, the danger, of course, with that is that if you put a wrap on there that has inadvertently picked up a piece of junk, like a little speck of a screw or a bit of metal, and then you slap it down, then it's going to, you know, rub into it. So that is always a risk, even if you do keep things. Okay, we've got a mild to moderate amount of dust build up here, so we might actually have some corrosion. I mean, it's not that I don't take care of the ones that come in. under normal circumstances. It's just that this machine particularly is very clean. Okay, we've got a green light. We do not have a fan spin. We're 100. Okay, it's a 165. It's a very interesting current draw. The screen is not energized, but it's behaving like it's drawing the current. Okay, this is actually very interesting. This is not a pattern of behavior that I can immediately attribute to anything. So it's going to be an interesting one. The only trouble with the shrink wrap, like the food wrap, is that it is a little bit too flimsy. It easily bundles up and very gladly picks up too much trash. I'll find a solution, I'm sure, but it just takes time. Normally on a boot it should be something around about 500 milliamp area, and it was after it got started, but it started very slow. MagSafe did come up, fan did not spin, so that's like half of the SO circuitry is not coming up. 538. Like I said, a bit peculiar, but I am suspecting some sort of corrosion. We may have corrosion on the HSIO 1V05 line, I'm thinking. I'm going to guess. If I've got to guess something, that's what I'm going to guess. That it's corrosion on the little itty bitty chip on the edge of the board. Yeah, the battery was still plugged in. Thank you very much for making note of that. So it could have been charging. Let's try that again. Normally I flip that battery up, but I didn't. And now we've got a fan spin. We've got a bad battery communications issue. Okay, well, we're back at 500. The screen is not active, but we do have a fan spin. So it is still unusual. Clock issue, why 1905? Was it the crystal or was it something else? Or just the clock circuit? 538. I know it seems a bit pedantic to mark everything as I take it out, but believe me, the number of times that you're thankful for having done that, yeah, it's worth doing it. If you're like me. Oh yeah, screen not plugged in. Blimey heck. We still didn't hear a bong. I'll try that again. Blimey. Welcome. Yep. Telling you, YouTube streaming, if you want to do dodgy jobs, stream them. I am leaving the drive out this time though. Hey Maven. Still concerned though that the fan didn't spin the first time around, so I'm still going for corrosion around on the back. Okay, we have energized the screen. So in about, I don't know, 60 seconds we should get a blinking folder unless this triggers it. Hey Stray. Current's a little high, 700 milliamp. Okay, we're booting. Definitely going to go for corrosion now. Getting a picture here of corrosion from Jason, I'm sure. Is that what you sent? Let's have a look. Oh, sweet mercy. I'm not going to show the phone because... Okay, this will be alright. There you go. That's some nasty corrosion. Yuckity yuck. These days I look at boards like that and I seriously contemplate not doing them. The risk-reward ratio is sort of falling a little bit against our favour lately. What the hell, they're overclocking the new Intels over 7 gigahertz. It's some serious diminishing returns on that. I'd be surprised if, at 7 gigahertz, I'd be surprised if the circuitry was small enough to be able to get data from one side of the cache to the other within one clock cycle. I mean, in terms of speed of light limitations. I'm sure someone's done the calculations. Just getting that Wi-Fi cable out of the way so that I don't pinch it or crush it or damage it in any way. Drives me up the wall the number of people that damage that Wi-Fi cable. Would have Salvital. Oh, cool. Oh, speaking of Salvital, people in Australia who have that, we're talking about that, you know, white powdered fizzy addition for water. Have you noticed that not only is the formula changed, but it changed again as well, the container I bought, and it now has a distinct pink musk type aroma about it, and I really do not like it. In fact, I would normally just guzzle Salvital all the time, but I found I cannot drink this particular variation that they've got. So I don't know whether it was just a bad batch or whether it's a new thing that they've done, but geez, I hate it when they mess with old formulas. And that formula's been going strong for the last 40 years. Alrighty. So it wasn't working and now it is working. Fantastic. Let's zoom out a bit. We're a wee bit close. Alright, I'm wrong on the HSIO. Oh well. Oh, there we go. That could be enough. So what are we looking at? Is that U7840 sus LDO? Yeah. Well, the corrosion makes sense in the fact that, you know, it's been intermittent and my face is in the wrong place. There we go. Ah, dimwit. There we go. So that's certainly plausible. There's been the smoking gun. We'll go back to the microscope. I can actually take this protective bubble wrap away because we don't really care so much about the main board. I mean, we care about the main board, but aesthetically, oh, and wow. Okay, that's more of a smoking gun. And wow, we're lucky. That one actually can do a lot of damage if things go wrong there. Yep. Hey, Yenko. Hey, ITC. Saw you the other day being mentioned. Where were you being mentioned or something? You're making comment. I don't know. Anyway, I saw you in the proximity of someone famous. So famous I can't remember who it was. So this is 7501. Okay, 3v3 and 5. So that's pretty marginal. Let's see, what was the purpose of this cap? Okay, current sense. Current sense for the 5-volt output. Alright, fair enough. So that would be messing with the readings. Okay, so that's two things now. We'll keep looking. Not done yet. Switch over to the microscope. There we go. At least the SMC looks clear. It's a nice change. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind doing SMC reballs. I know a lot of people complain about them, but I really don't mind. Now that I've got the good supply of 0.35mm solder balls, and I've got the ISO IPA technique all sorted out, it's much quicker and easier now. I mean, I'm not talking to people, it really doesn't take long at all. Okay, I'm just trying to check this side as well. What I do need to do is order a hell of a lot more ISL 9239s, and better start picking up some CD3217s. Sort of getting a bit slack, let my stock levels drop off. For all I know, it'll get blocked in the Suez Canal. Actually, it shouldn't, because we're on the correct side of China here in Australia. What is that? A bit of fluff. It's okay. Alright, by my reckoning, I think that those are the only two spots that we have to worry about. So we've got our 3 and 5-volt generator, and we've got our sus switch, which may get sus. Stick it in the ultrasonic. Yeah. Well, the ultrasonic probably would fix that first one. The sus one. Unfortunately, of course, I know you're only joking, but yeah, we won't fix up that second one very well. A D-Craft all game from Indonesia. What brings you to a repair channel? You should be in a gaming channel. Oh, go, Luke, missed you there. What is the golden thingy? It's me. What golden thing are we talking about? Ah, man, I'm gonna have to ultrasonic this one too. I really don't like ultrasonic. It's Jade. Oh, that is a really messy JTAG you got there, Jason. I don't feel like I need to take this chip off because the damage hasn't actually gone into where the chip is, and there's no corrosion going into the legs. So I think we can keep that chip there, that'll be fine. It's just the cap and a couple of these traces that will need to be reworked. Where the hell am I? There they are. That's probably going to be borderline broken, that trace. Clear out the damage that's caused around it. See how the damage just shows up there? Need to go digging to find this stuff. If you don't, what will happen is it'll come back up later. And it'll be another bounce for me. And I'll gripe and complain about that. It does make the board a little ugly, but better to be ugly and alive than good looking and dead. Actually, no, that's not true. South Africans don't agree with that. South Africans have a philosophy of live fast, die young, leave a good looking body. That's pretty much their motto. Okay, obviously that doesn't apply to all South Africans, but it's a pretty common sort of way of living in their heads. Or at least it was 20 years ago, 25 years ago. I was trying to dig out the corrosion that's embedded in there. Carlos, with regards to stencils for the Macs, there are definitely some Mac specific stencils that you can get, but a lot of the time with these chips, when it comes to the BGA ones, I find iPhone stencils are surprisingly useful in that regard. You'll often find a match. Oh no, we bridged it. Yeah, there may not actually be any reason for me to do any of this because there's nothing connected there, but we don't know if there's a veer running under that line anywhere. It was the cap more than anything else that we had to be worried about. Just sort of clean this area up. I don't have black, but I do have blue. I've decided blue's the colour I'm going to be using. Mostly because, honestly, while black is pretty cool, I genuinely want to be able to come back at a job and see where I have done the work. And the game developers are here already with their bollocks spamming. Why is it every time it's a gamer? Why? You see gamer in the name and, well, you know what they're going to play. Game is the name, game is the game. Spam's the game, rather. I think that trace is definitely broken there. Do we still have a trace there? We do not. Alright, since I don't know if there is a veer hidden under here or anything like that, I am going to run a wire from this pin all the way to the end of the pack. It could be for no point at all, there could be no reason for me to do it, but for posterity's sake, I suppose. Ah, Damaris is here. Hello, Damaris. I see you by your actions. And I've inadvertently wicked away the... All fixed now. Alright, that capacitor, better get another one. Luke Davis is going on about sus jokes getting old. Luke, how dare you? What about all the new people that turn up? They haven't had the experience of a great sus joke. It's kind of like dad jokes. There's always going to be someone who's hearing it for the first time. For them, it's the greatest thing ever. Hey, James Ewing. Sus jokes used in YTP. YouTube. What? What's YTP? Someone better tell me what YTP is. Yours truly propaganda? Oh, right, okay. I'm kind of sorry I asked. Oh, why am I doing this with a... It's bad enough that I'm doing this not using a micro pencil, but to actually be using a 1.2 tip, that's ridiculous. This is absurdum. Yeah, the moment I touch this down, it's all just going to come off onto... Boop. Okay. Fear not. It's only a slight disaster. Alright, I'm not going to get the beauty that I want, but what I will do is I'll trim it here, and then I'll put some flux down, then I'll reflow it and see how it behaves. That's way too much flux. Again, the problem with these particular sort of faults where they do arrive and they function after you've sort of like prodded and probed with them is that you have to at some point prove that you have solved the problem, and that can be a little bit tricky at times. Okay, that did not wick properly. See how it hasn't, it's sort of pillowed in the head. Pillow in the head fault is where you have something that you want to be soldered, but for either corrosion reasons or maybe temperature reasons, it didn't quite solder in, it didn't quite flow over properly, and so you have this what we call pillow in head fault, whereby it looks like someone put their head in a pillow, the solder being the pillow, and it hasn't quite wicked over. Normally you get it when you're doing reflow on SMD components. There's a bit of junk on the SMD end cap, or the end cap is a bit corroded, then you can often get pillow in head. Or if the temperature was ramped up too quickly, the parts didn't get a chance to get hot enough, but the paste did. Okay, so in this case I'm going to say it's corrosion. When I say corrosion on the wire, I mean like a bit of oxidization that I didn't clear off. So it's not actually a real issue, other than the fact that aesthetically it's driving me insane. Very insane. Another common fault you encounter is of course the Tombstone Fault, which is sort of similar. It's kind of like an aggravated pillow-in head, whereby one end of the two component, there we go, that's nice, that's much better. Tombstone Fault is where one end doesn't solder, but the action of the reflowing of the other end causes it to lift up the part. Got too excited with my audio there. There you go, that's much better looking now. Use a more acidic flux. Well, that always works. You can always use plumber's flux, and you'll definitely have that board back in a few weeks. It can be very tempting to throw some plumber's flux down every now and then, but you learn. You just don't do that. Okay, don't do it, please. You will regret every moment of that. But it can be fun to think about it. I'm going to lift this part just to see and make sure that there's no damage underneath. I'm suspecting there won't be, but I want to be sure. It does look more like a bit of random liquid was there, but it dried up, but it wasn't actually actively eating the metal. But hey, could be wrong, and we're going to find out. That looks all pretty healthy to me. I will check the underside of the chip. Sometimes, yeah, they can be eaten out. In fact, I will just replace it, purely out of extreme paranoia, I guess. Put some flux down so we don't oxidize the pads when they lift up. Hey, retired tech, how's it going? How long you been retired for? And are you getting back in the game? Yeah, I know that looks silly, but we'll clear that up and then reflow it. Okay, that wasn't silly, that was just dumb. I should have just thrown down some more flux, but fortunately hitting it with the hot air will fix all that up. What went wrong there is that I'm more used to having the micro pencil, and the micro pencil would be very easily able to get in there and do what I was trying to do without making a colossal mess of it, and I'm just making a train wreck of this right now. Let's try this again. Nope, still train wrecking it. That's it. Time for the micro pencil. I can do it with the JSO2 as well, but these days I've pretty much put the JSO2 aside. It's still a very good tip, particularly if you don't have a micro pencil. But micro pencil is pretty much where it's at. Yeah, just being able to get in there and saw action away. Okay, I see what the problem here is. There's a lot of thermal drain at the side, so we'll just give it a bit of a helping hand with the hot air assist. There we go. Perfect. Hey ZX. How's things going over on your side of the world? I don't really speak to you too much at the moment. Sorry about that. Oh, why did I do that? I just messed up the soldering on the end of that cap. It is still technically perfectly fine, but visually, well, visually I wouldn't want that on one of my boards much. And fixed. Yeah, Carlos, a micro pencil is fairly expensive, considering it's, you know, you got to buy the handle and then you've got to still buy a tip. But I would say it's a good investment. And then I have that fat chisel tip that I've been using for larger things. So yes, expensive but a worthy investment. Yeah, there's certainly plenty of tools that you can spend your money on and you don't really get your money back. Yeah, I'd actually put oscilloscopes or DSOs into that category where you have them, but the number of times you really use them on a daily basis makes it hard to justify the actual expense sometimes. I mean, they are one of those tools that you end up still getting anyway. Partially because it's pretty cool to have on the bench, so if you get visitors you can go, oh, look at this, watch these fancy waveforms, and people, you know, they just go all glaze-eyed and go, ooh, you must be a genius. And you're like, nah, I can just Google and beg and please bro better than anyone else around here. Interesting, this board has, I've noticed now, that's the third little, I don't know what they are. I don't know whether it's my doing, but it's kind of a glue-like substance that's been spluttered on here. There was that piece there, and where was the other one? Was it between there? No, it was between there. I'm trying to think where the other one was. Well, certainly two provable ones. Third one could be just imagination. Alright. Well, this will go into the ultrasonic now, and yeah, we will. I'm pretty sure that's fixed. Ow. Yeah. What pencil am I on? Yeah, good. It's the KN one, I think. Let's see. I'll have a look and find out. I'm pretty sure it's this one here. Yeah, the KN, HD30 KN. So yeah, it's expensive gear to pick up. So that's, well, it's $85 Australian with GST, that's tax. And the handle is $220. So you're paying just a smidge over $300 for a micro pencil, and that's half the price of the entire soldering station. But you will save that money very quickly. Right, KU is the other one, but that's a shorter, bigger one, I think. With a 6mm, 1.8 diameter versus 1.4, yeah. So the KN is the one that I use. I think the KU is just a little bit too big. Anyway, so it's a bit late now, but tomorrow we will ultrasonic this, put it through the tests as usual, and hopefully that's a fix. But what I do need to do now to give you all some boredom is to actually put this job details in, because otherwise come tomorrow, I mean by the time I get to the other side of the house I will have forgotten most likely what I've done. 538. So let's see, add a note, and the note is going to say, see already I'm struggling to remember what I did. Oh, that's right, it was C7518, C7518 corroded, replaced. And skip cell trace on U75016, U75016 corroded, broken, rebuilt, and then we had to change that sus U7840. U7840 corroded on pins 5 and 6, replaced. Submit. So at least with that done, then I can go to sleep and not have to worry about waking up tomorrow and going, what am I charging this person for? It'll all be done. That's the point. You write this sort of software to capture what you do. You have to use it. That's the hardest part, using it. Let's see. Alright, well, oh yeah, I suppose you should test it. Yeah, good point, Barry. Can't just presume that because I fixed something, it's actually going to work. Well, that's definitely presumptuous. Come on. Time for these cables to get a bit of a ultrasonic clean. They're getting a bit of a flux build up on them. Send you another send you that oh, gross. Why? Why do you want to torture me with that? Okay, current's about right. 500, 600-ish. Something just tried to land in the fan and got shot out. Fan speed's picking up. Okay, we've got a blink. So 4, 3. Give me another blink. Okay. Alright, I'm content with that. At this point, I find it's just better go ahead, put it in the ultrasonic, and then test it when it comes out. And hopefully it doesn't become another PCH death. I do wash and dry these quite extensively, so I don't think it's liquid getting under the PCH or anything like that. I think it may be just a case of the ultrasonic is unfortunately revealing a weakness sometimes, and of course you find out after you've done the ultrasonic test. In some ways maybe it's a blessing, because more than likely that weakness would probably show up in a couple of weeks or a month after you've given it back to the customer. So perhaps better to have it fail now while it's in your care, as it were, than later on down the track. So alright, I am out of here, and I'll see you all maybe tomorrow, I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens. Until then, you'll take care. I'll see you later.